YouTube fans, it's Matt of Post April 6th. Well, I'm on RTD Route 83D like I've been on before. And I'm heading back home right now. And one of the things I just went past as a passenger, of course, was the building that was, I believe, called Harkins or something with the letter H, apartments, that was badly destroyed in a fire. And this building was not finished for construction quite yet, but it was getting awful close. A very deeply disturbed, criminal-minded homeless person ousted the whole first level of the building, or majority of it anyway, with gasoline. That's a pretty evil thing to do. I will discuss some more things later on, so stay tuned, and I'll sign up for now, but there will be more. You'll see me in just a few seconds. Well, I'm back again, my good loyal YouTube fans and newcomers that are watching my channel for the first time. I had some things to do right after I got home, and I had some things to watch on YouTube that were stuff that didn't, well, one thing had to do with me, and the other two were ones from Yellow Productions. Yeah, that guy is quite a amazing traveler. I mean, he's just as good, and in a couple of ways better than the late Adam the Woo, Jacob of Carpetbagger, and Jordan of Days with Jordan Lyon. Because I've liked Days with Jordan Lyon the longest, but that's not the point of this vlog. Well, what happened before I started to do the vlog about what I just passed on RTD Route 83D, which the majority of the ride you go through, you go up First Avenue in Leedsdale until you get to go back, and then you turn, and you go and you zigzag through the Indian Creek neighborhood, and you see some pretty neat condos, apartment buildings, and townhomes and housing and other buildings. I mean, it's really really unique and one of a kind. And when you go through Indian Creek and you zigzag through the streets like this, you feel like you're in the densely populated part of rural Colorado, when you aren't. You're in Denver, Colorado. It's just it's densely populated, but yet things are more spread out all at the same time, and with the hills where there's grass, and then you see some trees and stuff, and foliage that you would see when you're out in a more rural part of the United States instead of the inner city. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Before I got on the bus, here's what happened. I'll start from beginning to end. First, at a little after 6 o'clock, I called Twist and Shout Records because I wanted to make sure they were open and they weren't closing early, because today's Martin Luther King Day, and it was a good thing I checked, but they were open. I said, okay, I'll be there soon. Thank you. Click. Then I set up a Uber ride, and I got established with a Uber driver within about a little over 8 minutes. And then he took me to the location on East Colfax between Columbine and Elizabeth, which is Twist and Shout Records. The driver was driving well, but he was doing something that is a big no-no. He was distracted by his phone, and he was talking to someone in Spanish on his phone because he's Hispanic, and even though he didn't seem to be arguing with someone, he was talking way too much. That's a no-no. Uber drivers shouldn't do that. Anyway, when I finally did arrive at Twist and Shout Records, I went to the customer service cashier and asked to do an exchange. And what I exchanged is this. In fact, I'll go get it. It's a 12-pack of record sleeves. I bought that because the grab bag LPs that I most recently bought a few months ago, a lot of the records are in good condition, but there's one that the record plays back well, but there's no record sleeve in there, and I'm like, I got to get a record sleeve before I put that record up on eBay, because if I don't have a record sleeve on there, the buyer's really going to probably be pretty upset. And anyways, I exchanged them for some 10-inch ones that I should not have bought to begin with about a week ago, and I got these because, as you can tell, they're 12-inch ones. And then after I got the exchange completed, I walked over to where the singles are, and sure enough, something I have been badly wanting for at least 4 days was found. You see that? Here, let me take it away from the sleeve. There it is. That is Three Dog Night's very first single that was released in November of 1968. The first song is Nobody. I believe that's side A. And the second song is It's For You. See? And I have taken the time and trouble to clean it really good with a record anti-static brush that will go psst, and I put some dishwasher on the record, on the brush itself, and I cleaned it thoroughly so that it wouldn't have that bad snap, crackle, pop sound. It would sound as good of high fidelity as it could get. And I played both side A and B. I personally like better the It's For You song, because Nobody is kind of dumb. They were new. They were just starting out. I mean, the song called One is the Loneliest Number, also known as One is the Loneliest Number. That is very good. That is a very good song. They did well on that one. But this was their first album. They were learning. They were good entertainers, but yet they still had a lot to learn. Which they just pick it up from a lot of people giving them pointers on how to play and whatnot, and they pick it up themselves by going out and playing concerts and rehearsing songs and getting the, I guess, the brainchild syndrome and the knack to write good songs. It just becomes a really highly entertaining second nature with them. Highly entertaining, to them and entertaining in the sense that they become better and better entertainers. And here's what else I bought. Because before I show you this, I thought, well, if you're going to buy these, only get about 3 of them. Don't get like a whole bunch of them and really blow your money. I bought these. What these are is they are special mailer boxes for 45-inch singles. In fact, I'm going to completely fold this up and make it look like it is supposed to look. Just 1 second. They look about like this. And here's the other side. This is where you put your return address, your postage over here, and right in the middle you put the addressee, the person that it is being sent to. And you tape it like this. And that's, if you look at that, that's a pretty tight fit, especially when you put the tape on there. So after I paid for that and I put it in my big reusable Twist and Shout shopping bag, I proceeded to walk about 3 blocks to 12th Avenue and it's an area between Elizabeth and Detroit. What exactly that means is one, it's very close to Congress Park Market or Congress Park grocery store, and it's also near. It used to be called Chef Zorba's, but it's Zorba's Greek and American restaurant, or Zorba's Cuisine. And I had a very good time. Because see, they, from opening to close, you can get any breakfast entree you want. You can get any dinner entree you want, or you can get an item that would be lunch or dinner. What I decided to do, because I'd never eaten their version of it before, it's called a whole hog Sammy. What it is it's in an English muffin, and it's a sandwich with, I believe it's ham and bacon, cheddar cheese, and an over easy egg. And it was quite a good sandwich. It really was. And there was a side of hash brown, and then after I ate that, I left just a little bit too late to catch the 10 that was going to Colfax and Billings. So I knew that I had no other choice but to go with Plan B. Which, right after I paid my bill, I walked down 12th Avenue about 2.5 to 3 blocks to Josephine. And I keep walking down Josephine until I get to near 2nd Avenue, and I look at my transit app. I missed the 83D. I mean, it was long gone. But the 83L, which goes a little bit different way, after it gets to, it keeps going up South Parker Road on Quebec, because Leesdale's on this side and South Quebec's on the other side. And so then what I did was I walked into Whole Foods really quickly, and I used the men's room because I really had to pee. And then after that, I know too much information, but I had to do it. And then I walked to First Avenue, and I kept looking back like that. And I'm walking up, and before I know what's going on, the 83L zips past me. And I was just like, I was upset. Then I leaned the thing up against the wall, and my right shoe was getting loose, so I had to loosen up the knot and the shoelaces and retie it, so that it wouldn't be on my foot so loose and feel like it was falling off. And then I just patiently waited for the 83D. And then after I stood there and waited and didn't move, when I saw the 83D, I made sure to open up my RTD MyRide app and scan the 3-hour pass. You know, the QR code to that special thing that's right by the front door of the bus. And I just kept keeping my eyes peeled for all kinds of stuff. And when I went past South Forest Street or Drive and Leedsdale, I looked over that way, and I knew good and well what it was. I mean, it was so dark you really couldn't see it, but I could tell. That really nice apartment building was destroyed by an arsonist who is a sick human being. Yeah, he doused the first level heavily in gasoline after he got one of those 2-gallon or 5-gallon tanks, and then he lit a match, and then he ran out of there so he didn't get burned himself. And they knew from surveillance photos who it was, and they found him and they arrested him. Yeah, that guy's going to jail. He's probably going to do, I mean, I don't know, but probably at least 10 years for what he did. 5 years anyway. Yeah, that's a really sick thing to do. So anyhow, then I did my opening vlog, my intro, and then I rode the 83D until I got to Yale and Havana. And I made sure to pull the lever so that I could get to the next stop, because there's a automated recording that says stop requested, and the driver always has to pay attention to that. And I got off, and when I got up right to the street corner on the that's right, the southwest side, I looked over that way like that, and I could see the 105 coming. And I quickly walked over to the Route 105 stop. It was only about half a block. And I stood there and I waited, and I kept my eyes peeled. And when the bus stopped and they opened the door, I got right on, and I scanned my thing, and I just made sure to just keep my eyes peeled, because that's a short ride from where I am to the stop that I have to get off on, that's a little past Yosemite. A couple stops less. It's 1 or 2 stops away past Yosemite. And I got off on my stop, and then I walked the fairly long walk to my apartment. And as soon as I got in, boy, my wonderful kitty, she's not here, I thought she was, my wonderful kitty Isabella was quite happy to see me. Okay, why don't I talk about what I did early today after I did the dishes, made my breakfast, ate my breakfast, um, laid down for a little bit because I was still feeling kind of groggy, and then after that, shortly after that, I showered and shaved, got dressed, and then what I did is I turned on my hotspot signal, and from my laptop, I got logged into my eBay account, and I got logged in with Twitter, LinkedIn, and my Facebook group page for post April 6th. And I copied and pasted 54 different items that I have up for sale on eBay so I can get more web traffic, because the web traffic is kind of, I mean, a lot of people are buying, but at the same time there's so many different choices out of, like, you know, tens of millions. You know, sometimes unless somebody is really looking for what you got, you're not going to get much traffic. And I posted links on there, and the traffic to all my stuff is going up. There's only like a couple of items that people haven't looked at yet, but they will sooner or later. You know, it's Martin Luther King Day. A lot of people are thinking about a lot of other things. They're sitting back and relaxing if it's the type of job where they would have the day off, and if they're working hard, and they got other things to do. Well, I think that's going to be about it for this vlog. Just one second, I thought of one other thing. I went to my calendar to double check something before I said it, and as of today, this is my 997th day of having a YouTube channel, and day 1000 is coming up soon, and believe me, I am going to do a vlog that day. I have to. 997 days. So what I will go ahead and add to this vlog that will be at the end is I will add a YouTube, or excuse me, not YouTube, a eBay app image of my eBay store. Thank you everyone for being such loyal YouTube subscribers and watching my YouTube channel and this vlog. Goodbye now. Thank you very much.